Hey guys, this is Kevin Potter at Potter USA, and I'm going to show you how to make a die struck ring. You won't be doing the die striking, we will, but I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. So what this is called a hub. This does not make this. This makes this. So what you need to make this is about a 500-ton press. You start off with a hub. These are hand carved. These particular ones that I'm using for this collection are all made in the early 1900s. What we did, we took one of these, we made this, and then we made this. This is the top of the die. Okay? Then you have to have something to fill the die. So you start with silver or gold. These were originally intended for gold, but gold's kind of pricey these days. So what I did was I poured a 10-ounce bar. This is a 10-ounce ingot, and it is the perfect width, pretty much, to make these. So I rolled the 10-ounce ingot into a sheet of 8 gauge, and then I put it in a press. We have a die, and it cuts out a blank, which is this piece here. We take this blank, we set it in this die here, and then we have this, everything's mounted in the press. And then these two parts come together, and it's 250 tons of force, and it drives this piece of sterling into this mold, into the die. And you'll end up with this. And this is what we're going to be offering on our website. With this, you can make a ring. That's how they did it 100 years ago, before they started casting. A die-struck ring is a fantastic piece of jewelry. The metal molecules are compressed under a couple hundred tons of force, and you end up with a ring that is super durable, really strong, and they last a lifetime. Now, it is really important, because I'm going to send these to you guys fully hard. I'm not going to anneal them. You got to do that. If you don't anneal it, this is what's going to happen. You're going to crack it. It'll break clean off if you try to bend it without annealing it. When you receive your ring, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be fresh out of the die. It is going to be really, really hard. But the reason I don't want to anneal it is so that you can saw it easily. So the first thing you're going to do when you get your ring, you're going to break out your saw. Once you get it all cut out, you will have this. And I'm going to anneal this before we start bending, because we're not going to break this ring. Do not overheat this. If you heat this to a bright glowing red, you're going to crystallize your metal, and it'll crack anyway. You're going to go for a dull red with a reducing flame. Yeah, it's best to have a little bit of yellow in your flame, just the tip of it, a little bit of yellow. Okay, now it is like a piece of butter. It's very soft. I've got this handy dandy bench pin. This is one of the first tools I ever made. I have pretty strong fingers. I'm just going to pull it over the sides. If you see your ring starting to crack or it is super hard, go back and anneal it again. If you use a metal hammer, you're going to tear up all the design on the ring. Use a leather mallet. This thing comes out at about a size 9 once it's all soldered. Yeah, it's about a size 9. So you've got quite a bit of metal to work with. So I'm going to take and hammer it over each side. We're going to close the gap. I'm going to use these, my parallel pliers. Now don't worry about getting this thing super round, because you can make it really round once you solder it. And you're going to use high solder. This is a ring shank. You're not going to use easy. You're going to use high. And I like to literally pinch it in there so that it's between it. So it's kind of stuck in there like that. So that's way too hot of a flame. Just kick it back a little bit. That's pretty nice. You're going to solder from below, heat it up from below like this. Get the whole shank warm. You don't want a cold solder joint. This is a critical joint for this ring. Okay, now take your ring, which is kind of funny looking, slide it onto the ring mandrel. Take your ring mandrel. Be sure and flip it over. You don't want a tapered ring. And then I just tap it just to flatten out the solder joint so I don't have to remove too much metal from it. I want to get that joint strong. Now that you've got your ring all rounded up, it fits my pinky. That's pretty cool. Then you are all set to file and finish it. So what you do, get in here, file all the edges down. I'm using a fairly fine file. Don't have to remove a lot of metal. You can see where I still need to trim a little bit, and that is where I'll come in with my disc sander. I love these little things. This one's pretty worn, but it still works good. That's about as far as we're going to take it today. But let me show you a couple of really cool things that my friend Bill Rice did. And he did my wife's and mine's initials in these signet rings. And he can probably do the same for you if you want to finish out the ring, or he can finish the whole ring for you. So that's going to be it for this episode, and thank you for watching.